Welcome, everyone, to Unfiltered with Roxy. I'm your host, Roxana Feemster. And on this podcast, we'll dive deep into mindfulness, offering real advice and solutions to help you rock your life. As your host, I'm going to guide you on your path of self discovery, mindfulness, and healing, mind, body, and spirit. All, of course, no filter. Join me as we welcome inspirational guests who share their stories of wisdom, providing real answers to empower you on your path. Together, we'll uncover wellness and mindfulness gems and nourish our souls to positive change. One of the things that really got me started on doing this podcast and really leaning in is my recent transition. I had worked 6 years at the same job. I loved it as much as I could love, and I grew it as much as I could grow it at a nonprofit. And just, I didn't have anywhere else to grow. I wasn't making enough money. I was working all kind of crazy hours for the little bit that I was getting. And I just knew this was enough. 2023, at the end of the year, I told myself I did not want to be an executive assistant working at this nonprofit anymore. I was ready for something else. I had already been doing a lot of consultation work. I was an administrator for a couple of different organizations and had really done well at it and said, huh, I'll do that part time. But if I can find my dream job, which would be to be an executive assistant, I am a helper. I love helping people finish their mission, right? Or get on their mission. So took another job at another nonprofit, was making a lot of income, and it was not a good fit. It was a toxic situation from the beginning. There were meltdowns that actually was not me. Hello, isn't that crazy? Only was there 3 weeks, had a health scare, and just the way I was treated during that time there was just like, what am I doing? It's not even something that's healing for me anymore. And I noticed some of the same patterns that I had seen at my jobs prior, right? So 3 weeks, cut it loose, and have not looked back since. So one of the things that I realized after knowing that that last job was not a good fit for me was that I did not want to be that full-time person doing all the things anymore, right? Because I had really been a high functioning person. I did um the 9 to 5 plus 5 to 9 because there was a lot of after hour events, and just I just realize now that being part time, I'm in a part time position now, that's allowing me to actually do some of my other dreams, inspirations. I've been waiting to do my podcast, my vlog on YouTube for a really long time, not because of anything vain, but just because I felt like that was in me. I had started a blog, Roxy's Wisdom. I never got to finish it because I was working so much. Even started uh, ideas for a podcast with my daughter, which she's too busy to do now. And I just knew I had a story in me that I really wanted to share out with people, the things that I've learned from a lot of the different books that I read, a lot of the different movies that have helped open my mind up, a lot of the different conversations with awesome people that will also be on this podcast with me that I really learned from, and even other podcasts that I feel would help you. I'm going to make sure that all of that content, affirmations that I really love, will be accessible in a website just so that you have all the tools you need for your journey. And with that, we're going to go to a break. Hello, everyone. This break is brought to you by Unfiltered by Roxy. Did you know that you are awesome? You're special and you're unique just the way you are. Nothing is needed to improve you, and definitely not a social media filter. So drop that don't use them anymore. You're beautiful the way you are. But if you love them and you want to use them just because, we give you a thumbs up for that. So thank you. Then now that we're back from our break, I just wanted to welcome you back to Unfiltered with Roxy. This is your host, Roxana Feenster, and I hope you like that commercial because people should know that they are awesome just the way they are. So I was telling you the story about where I was. I quit my jobs, two, one, two. And hopefully you'll get inspiration to quit something that's bogging you down in life. Maybe it's not a job. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's your to do list. Maybe there's too many things on your list and you just need to cut it. And today is the day for you to have a meeting for yourself after this podcast, of course. And make a list of the things that are bringing you joy and make a list of the things that you're just, every time you have to do it, it gives you a lot of grief. So I'm not talking about not cleaning your house or not working out. I'm talking about things that are extra in your life. We know we have to do those things, right? We don't have any ways around them. So we'll also talk about maybe that'll definitely be one of the topics on this podcast is what do we do when we don't want to do the things that are good for us, right? So we'll definitely talk about that. And the next podcast will have my daughter on. One, I'm sorry. Actually, the next podcast will have Delana Watkins on, where she's talking about women's mental health. She's awesome. She's talking about midlife crisis, which we discussed is not really midlife, but anyways, whatever crisis you're in, we're talking about it, how to put boundaries, how to really do self care. Because self care isn't just doing your nails, self care is taking that walk, cleaning up so that you can have a good environment for you to be creative, right? Maybe closing the door on some things that were bogging you down. Maybe doing a load of laundry because you can't find any of your stuff and it might be there. So just for your own peace of mind to have an organized space and to have all the great clothes you love, you have to do the laundry, which is totally fine, right? So another thing that I wanted to discuss with you is not only quitting the things that you don't like, but leaning into the things that you do like. Maybe the thing that you really love is decluttering. I also like ironing. But, anyways, no. But leaning into the things you really love. So, one of the things that I really love is health and wellness. I've always, all my life since a teenager, been doing I don't know if you guys remember this, but Buns of Steel videos. As a teenager, I was doing them. I've always loved health and wellness. I actually wanted to be a nurse when I graduated high school, like my aunt. But as when I was really going through the program, I realized that it was a lot of managing illness, not managing wellness and staying well and being well. And that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about, right? So right now, I have a 2-year degree in general um, science, general, I guess, health studies. And now I'm doing a health and science degree so that I can really be more integral into my community, getting more information out there. One of the things that I do now is I'm located in Maryland and I work for Baltimore City Health Department doing educational community work outreach. And that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. And it's one of the things that I love to do. So we'll also talk a little bit about community health, making sure that we stay healthy. And when our inner self is healthy, we can really help our community be healthy. And as a woman, I help my family, me helping my family be healthy is also helping my community be healthy because a lot of times, I'm sorry, I have 4 kids, um, all the way from 28 to 21. So one just turned 21. I have one that is 23. That's my daughter, Laura, that'll be on with me. 24. and 28. That's my other daughter that I was doing the podcast with. And I think I'll invite my sons to be on the podcast too. They're all pretty funny and they all have their own personalities. I really enjoy my kids when they're nice. Adult kids is the whole thing. You're going to have to watch episode 2 of the podcast so you can get that joke. But adult kids is its own thing. I really enjoyed all no, I didn't enjoy teenage stage. But I really do enjoy my kids now. It's just a different relationship, right? And that we have to grow and deal with. So we'll also talk about that in this podcast and how we all have to change in our relationships, not so much as a mom, but just how relationships do change, right? When we get older, we are growing, hopefully more, getting developed more in certain areas, doing more of the things that we love. And sometimes people can feel weird about that. They can feel pushed out. So, how do we go through life without dumping everyone? Even though if you have to, you have to. Anyways, never mind. We're going to talk about that in the episode with my partner, the love of my life, Gary Feemster. He's going to be on. He wants to do a podcast about finances. So, as everyone knows, when you're married, finances is a big thing. So we'll also tackle that here because part of dealing with your path of self-discovery is, why am I using so much money? Why am I not using any money when I have the money to use and I need new things? So we'll definitely dive into that as well. So let me make sure that I've hit everything. And so, lastly, I just want to make sure that this podcast is all about encouragement, all about helping you thrive, to be your best self, to have those best experiences that you can have. And so, while I'm learning, we will be learning together, educating each other together. Health and wellness is one of the best things, best self-care gifts we can give ourselves. So right now, I just want to make sure that that is what I'm putting into the world. That is the seed that I'm sowing for the next generation. And for the generation I'm in now, is that those seeds of love, those seeds of wisdom, those seeds of care will be there for whoever needs it in the future. So again, this is Roxana Feenster for Unfiltered with Roxy, where